everybody. Surprise! Maybe? Maybe. It depends on when this actually comes out. Or whether I even record this at all. That is to say, whether I keep this recording at all. Because I have been having the inkling to play Dark Souls 1 again, like from the beginning. Just, you know, for me. It's kind of weird. Actually playing the playthrough doesn't really feel like playing the game at all. It's just sort of work I'm doing. So I don't really get to have the experience. So I thought, well, I don't want to sit around waiting on that for the next 2 months. And I certainly don't want to have to go through a finale where it's like, oh, I'm celebrating the annual anniversary of releasing this, like I did with the last one. It's coming close. I started in June of last year. That's right. Started in June. So, my idea is, let's get this the fuck over with. So, the reason why I have to do this is because I can't really start a new play file on this because the game is so completely fucked up right now. And I really don't want to. It's a bit of a mess. So, usually I have a lot of time for new comments to come in. Like, the prior part right now only has like 9,000 views, which is to say the normal 20,000 or so usually each part gets. Quite a few of you have not even seen the last one, which is a recipe for disaster. Yes. So all that time usually spent on reflecting on the episode, letting comments generate, and, you know, just generally not being a dickwad. Not gonna do it. Not right now, no. Very soon I'm gonna give it the old college try. So if this goes horribly awry, and I decide, you know what, I'm not even gonna keep that footage, then you won't even be listening to this audio, and I'll just pretend that this never happened, even though it did, and you will never be the wiser. He would do that? Yes. Have I done it in the past? Who knows? Actually, I don't know. I'm just being a dick. Okay. So, Solaire is still here. So, finding the sunlit maggot much earlier in the game still doesn't technically mean anything. Because the thing that actually flags him is going crazy. Not hollow, just crazy. Because he still has his human head. Good old human head. Is actually this boss fight. And I fucking hate this boss fight. This is one of the worst boss fights in the game. Something else I'll mention is that it seems like every single time I start a new part, I start on a boss fight or something that I don't like, which is bad news. Like, I do that because I get to the prior part and I'm like, well, I'll obviously stop here, right? Because I don't want to do this boss fight right now. But that just ends up creating a problem for future me because I know that whenever I start off the episode, the first people that are going to respond to the comments are going to be the people that are angry at me getting angry at the game. Because that's just me. So that's also a recipe for disaster. So we're stacking that on top of this as well. This is an okay cutscene, though. I will give it that. Another thing is that I've been working on that damn animation so much that I just wanted to do something else. Tell you what, animating those little bitty spike things, Stegosaurus spikes on the back of Danny's back, just drove me crazy this morning. This is sort of nighttime for me, even though it's literally morning. My sleep schedule is fucked up. Oh, I guess we're fighting him now, whatever. Alright. Oh, doesn't he just look lovely? Alright, let's go over here. Love how you jump over it and you still take damage from this. Like, for example, I was looking through the comments. Like, I didn't have many comments to pull from, since not many people have seen the episode up until now. I wonder what this is going to be. Oh, look at that! Looks like this is where Tarkus died. Good to know. But, for example, in the comments of the prior part, part 20, I guess it was. This is 21. I noticed a lot of people commenting, like, getting, not either supporting or getting angry about Manus themselves or getting angry at me for getting angry at Manus. And I started reading them, and I thought, wow, I thought I dodged that. Plus monstrous damage. Woo! But I was reading it and I completely forgot that I even fought Manus last time. Oh. Like I thought of the last episode as being like, oh, that's the one where I spoke out of my ass about parenting, wasn't it? And people were commenting about Manus, like, Manus? What the fuck are they talking about? Like, oh, I did that, didn't I? In fact, that was like the whole first part of it. I'm so glad this stupid island is here. I think you're actually intended to, what the fuck are you doing? I think you're actually intended to, like, mistakenly get this ring. Man, he doesn't really have much health for, getting Phantom boosted, does he? It's kind of unusual, actually. Or maybe I'm just doing obscene amounts of damage because I'm using Big McLarge huge weapon right now. Yeah, Freeland's mighty big in this episode, isn't she? Such a large lady. She deserves it. Oh, my precious angel, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the inflated numbers that I gave you by cheating, using Cheat Engine. I'm so proud of my monstrous ways. Bye, Solaire. Alright, but we did that just... You know, that was not that bad. I was actually dreading this, like, oh, I've gotta do that. Well, let's put on Kalameet. No, let's not do that. I was dreading that. But it ended up being a whole lot of nothing, wasn't it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alright. Remember my better playthrough of this game? Whenever I came over here and we talked about this doorway for like 30 minutes? I remember. Partridge Farm or whatever fuck remembers. Fuck. Alright. Step 2. Let's go over here and see if we can spot Solaire. He might be okay. It's hard to tell with all the randomization. So it seems like he will always be here, and he will always have the same dialogue. But even though he's... Like, that's the funny thing about it. He's still always going to be depressed and forlorn about the fact that he can't find himself. But at the same time, he doesn't have a way out, because you removed that option. Because you took the maggot, right?
Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it. Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it.
Still looking for a sun. You know, it's a shame that some people actually think that he was looking for the sunlit maggot. Like, some people are that literal. Like, they have no... That really baffles me that some people are like that. They are so incredibly, like, literal that they have no ability to, like, read between the lines of dialogue. Like, they don't have any literary application, I guess I'll call it. So that they can hear a character say something and go like, oh, he actually means this. Some people actually think that this entire time, when he said that he was looking for a sun, he just meant, I'm looking for something called a sunlit maggot. I'm gonna kill it and then wear it on my head. Some people actually believe that. It amazes me that that's the case. Well, anyways, our next adventure is, even though we've already cleared out this area for the most part, there are items that are scattered around this ugly, ugly area, which may look even worse in the remaster. Who knows? We haven't actually seen it yet. I shouldn't be dating the episodes like this. But I don't know, because everything in the remaster so far looks really bright and sort of washed out. So, like, imagine this, but brighter, but at the same time, it also being washed out. So would it not be bright as a result of it being so faded? Weird. Like, it's promises to be weird. 2 green tie nitro, it's fantastic. Alright. Now, usually I don't pick up this garbage because that's exactly what it is. It's just garbage. So I'm going to have a hard time remembering where all the items in this area are. It seems like there actually are not many. There are 2 that are on the right-hand side, I think. There's this one right here, which is also nothing. Thank you, Randomization Mod. You never disappoint. But other than that, I'm not really overly certain. Now, I'm used to things attacking me here, but apparently not. Oh yeah, there's ones up there too. It is so weird that these guys are not aggroing to me. Whoa! I didn't even notice you. Aren't you a little sweetie pie? Well, enjoy the death that you earned by crossing me, monsters. Alright. See if I can spot anything in the distance. And it seems like there might be one over there. Or maybe not. Really? Are you really... He's like trying to like solid snake me here. We see you! We saw you cross the lava and now you're hiding behind the fucking foot like an asshole. Come get me! Alright, motherfucker. I'll come get you. Are you just stuck on his foot? Is that what's going on? He's just stuck inside of it. Is this one gonna... How many of these can we generate, I wonder? It's why are they pathfinding exactly there? I'm kind of curious if there's gonna be more of them. Nah, I guess that was it. Oh well. It would have been funny if the thing that I imagined in my head had become a reality, but that's kind of my life in general. Alright. Let's get up here and grab this. I've got some questions, not too many of them. Because I didn't give the comment... because I didn't give anyone time to watch the episode. Ooh, that's not... Ooh. I didn't give anyone any time to actually watch the episode. So as a result, I'm not going to have as many questions as I normally would have. So maybe, thank the Lord, praise Jesus, our Lord and Savior and whatnot, maybe this episode will be shorter than normal. Maybe. Although shorter than normal is probably still going to be like an hour and a half. Now, there are several things I need to do. We've already done one of them. Needed to get... Is that motherfucker gonna... Did I just... Knew it! I fucking knew it! Little bitch. You too. Oh! Ooh, I'm just riled up now. How dare they? I knew they were gonna do it too. I just fucking knew it. By the way, I saw like one or two people like, maybe it's just fire, stupid. We see fire in the game, and it's animated like fire is. This is intentionally meant to not look like fire, because it's Estus. There is even item... I'm not gonna go through all the fucking item descriptions. I was about to open up my menu and start ranting about it. There are items in the game that say that this is Estus. It's not up for argument. It's a mistake. It's a legitimate mistake on the part of the remaster team. Alright, let's see. Oh, I did kindle it, didn't I? Thanks, past me. No problem. I'm past Eli. I have many regrets. Oh, this is too bad. Alright. Try to take water. Drink of water, bitch. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna remember you. I'm gonna pick a fight with him. I was thinking about reading a comment, so I looked over and was reading that and taking a drink of water. But unfortunately, we got rude boys that are in need of punishment in the name of the moon, and so forth and so on. Her daughter fucked a horse. I don't know why. She fucked a horse. I would never. Should have called her Chibi Hands. That's what they should have called her. Wow, you're just a precious little angel, aren't you? These are still probably not as annoying as the things in 2, was it? Oh, I'm surprised he hasn't done his fly me to the moon attack yet. Oh, there we go. It's so stupid. These enemies are such trash. Oh, you budget time-constrained enemies. Giant dragon asses. I remember whenever I bullshitted an explanation for why you exist. Oh, that's another regret from past Eli. Alright. See? I see an item over there. Alright. We do have some questions, though. What's that? Arencio. Arencio! Andres Arencio. He probably is just like, no, it was Andres. Says, I actually wonder, Plague, do you think it is necessary for a sequel, or hell, fanfiction, anything involving a setting previously made and established? God damn it. Look where I'm going. God damn it, get away from me. Son of a bitch. Fucking kidding me. And of course, see, this is the reason why I never pick up this garbage. Because one, it's garbage. And another, they, for some reason, decide they want to hide it. They want to actually force you to run, and it's just, it's like a, normally it's like a soul of a proud knight, I think, is what it is. It's like it's just a couple of souls. It's a complete waste of time. Now, someone will be sure the correct, oh, for fuck's sake. Someone will be, motherfucker. I wonder if the guy didn't even, I wonder if the guy that made the mod didn't even, flag those two. Because he's like, nah, fuck those two. Oh, I love this noise, by the way. Bojo, jo, 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 jo. It's fantastic. Okay. Anything involving a setting previously made and established to explore the same things the original did. Like, say, Dark Souls 2 had decided to make a genuine shot at its topic of... What, I'm sorry, I cannot concentrate with this fucking noise. This area is just fucking atrocious. You know what? I'm gonna say those were the only two items. Those are the only two items I needed. Let's go. No, no. I'm sure there's like a guy that's pulling up the wiki page right now, looking at the map. No, there's what he missed! There's what he missed! It could be anything! Yeah, it could be nothing, too. Will it be an item containing my patience? No, it won't. Therefore, let us proceed. Alright, now I can actually read. Andres. I actually wonder, Plague, do you think it is necessary for a sequel, or hell, fanfiction, anything involving a setting previously made and established? He misspelled established. He didn't have an E. To explore the same things the original did. Like, say, Dark Souls 2 had decided to make a genuine shot at its topic of what is a monarch. Does it hinder the experience at all that it was a completely different thing from Dark Souls 1, or is it actually beneficial that it explores something new? Okay. The first time I read this, I actually started thinking about The Godfather. Because, like, Godfather 1 and 2. They have their own drastically different themes. I'll jump ahead and say, yes, if you're making something new, it should tell a different story of some sort, and it should have a different point. And those... But this is something a lot of people that want to write fiction forget. Is... Yeah, look at him. Look at that miserable fuck. Sickens me. He's too stupid to get out of it, too. But a lot of young writers, especially, will sometimes think that writing is an end unto itself. That is, I'm going to write a bunch of cool scenes, and it will look cool, and there will be memorable characters, and then that's it. As far as I take it. And some people actually think it's pretentious to say this. I don't know why. It's a basic tenet of writing. Ooh, that's weird. Flame shot out of Freeland's crotch. But one of the basic tenets of writing is that if you're telling a story, there should be some sort of point to why you're telling it in the first place. In other words, it should have a theme. And everything that occurs inside of your story should unite itself to that theme. That is, why does this character exist? And the reason, the answer to that is, this character exists because this is one element of the point that I'm trying to make. Like The Godfather 2, for example. I can't remember all the names of the characters off the top of my head. And I'm not gonna try to... I won't spoil anything, but... The gist of it is that the story is about... the nature of family, upward mobility, the sacrifices that you're willing to make in order to protect your family, and becoming the thing that you claim to despise in an effort to fix the mistakes of your family, of your past. Like, basically, it's a very American Dream sort of story. Of, I'm not going to make the mistakes of my forefathers, and then making those mistakes, but actually having a good reason for why you're doing it. but making such grand mistakes that it actually flies in the face of what is established to be your character as a person. Or to reduce that a little bit more, it's just about family and who you are as a person and why you are that way. Yeah, things like that. Godfather Part 1, not exactly that theme. But the characters... and Godfather 2 all exist for specific purposes. Like, one of the characters exists to exemplify this is the gold standard for the ideal that one side of the argument has. And then, you know, he gets killed or whatever. And then there's another... Like, I'm really trying to avoid specifics. And then there's another character that is... Yeah, okay. Sorry, thinking. And then there's another character that is there for the purposes of showing this is the ideal on the other side. And he ends up dying, but for other completely different reasons that are sort of antithetical to the main character entirely, even though he claims to be on his side. And that's kind of the entire crux of the movie. So every single character is fulfilling a very specific narrative role. Like, they don't just exist because, well, what if he had two brothers, or, you know, whatever. It's more that this character, this role in the point that I'm trying to make needs to exist. I'm killing this guy for fun, by the way. So everything needs to be united together whenever you're telling a story. Like, everything comes back to theming. Like, you can construct your story however you want to, but ultimately it needs to be joined together with some sort of point. And the less of a point you have, it tends to be the shittier the story ends up being. And I'm not saying this to be pretentious or anything. Like, you should have a magnificent point, you know, that sort of thing. That's not why I'm saying it. It's just, even if it's just like a children's show or something, even those have points to them. Of, you know, family matters more than anything, or, you know, always stay true to your friends, blah, 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 you know, generic children's show things. These all exist, you know, for reasons. You know, actually, let's try these. It's just a basic narrative thing that you have to do. So, whenever you're doing a video game, it still follows those same rules of if you're going to have a movie and you want to make a sequel to it because it was a financially well-off movie. If you're going to do that, then why are you making the sequel? And this comes back to the argument that I was making last time of, by the way, look at this magnificent rendering on the ground here. Yep, game wasn't finished. Wasn't fucking finished. And also big boys up in the sky. Fucking... There they are. Hello, big boy up in the sky. I can't believe it took me so long to actually notice those dudes. Oh, yeah, the Steam is online right now. That would be unfortunate. Anyways. So if you're going to make a movie and you're going to make a sequel, you don't want to just retell the same movie over again. Because I'm sure you can think of many examples on your own of, ooh, man, that sequel was bad. Not because it was bad, but because I've already seen it. You know, you come up against that problem. So usually the best sequels, as far as movies or stories go, usually... I'm trying to hold off on this thought. Usually are ones that have a very similar theme that are exploring a different element of it. Like the Godfather series is still about the American dream and upward mobility. It's just looking at it from different perspectives as the series goes on. We don't talk about part 3. So, as far as like Dark Souls or whatever goes, it should have a different theme. Like, almost always. It's very rare that you actually want to explore the same exact ideas all over again. Because that's the entire value of having something in the first place, whether it's a game or a movie or whatever else. This is gonna go real bad. I'm just telling you that now. You know, I better just keep this on. Because I know I'm gonna be respawning pretty soon. Oh, I got super angry in my first playthrough. It seemed like I even ranted about Bloodborne or something. Don't go back and watch that. I'm sure it's embarrassing. But that's the value of having anything, whether it's a movie or a game or what have you, is you're telling a story. You have a point to something. Like, you're trying to say something. You're not just saying, then this happened to this person, and this happened to this person, and there's, like, no value to it. Like, that makes for a shitty story. There's no point to even really exploring things of that nature. Really, I should use the cheese method, but I'm gonna be hard-headed and do it the old-fashioned way. Damn it. I thought I rolled through that. Okay. Better heal while I'm marginally safe. Nice moves, Freeland. So as far as like Dark Souls 2, really, the thing is, 2's theme is a big step down from 1, as far as narrative goes. Like, I imagine no one's really saying 2 is bad because its narrative cohesion was not as good. No one gives a shit about that. I swear that same exact noise is in the movie The Thing, whenever it's being burned. And now it's gone forever. Alright, now begins the true adventure. Slapping. Pathetic. This is such a bad boss fight. I saw that! I fucking saw it! Slapping, raking its arms. Oh, fuck you. Oh, man! That is rough. Like, the attacks are so slow and so far away. Like, it's really hard to tell what exactly it is that you're looking at. Nice. Nice. Love this boss fight. It's the best. That attitude's gonna change real fast. Now, did I... Yep, I didn't take it off. Good. Because I knew it. I knew it. But yeah, the exploration of, like, I can't even really place what exactly 2 was about. Like, 1 is about the nature of what it means to be a person, and how we hurt one another, not out of spite and maliciousness, necessarily, but out of, like, a need to be close, and envy of one another. There's, part of an Eagles song, actually. I think it's like, one of the lines is they say that hate is love disappointed. And that's basically Dark Souls. That's the theme of Dark Souls 1. Is that hate is love disappointed. Or that violence, or so forth and so on, is love disappointed. That sort of thing. And that's the nature of what it means to be a person. And 2, like, what is the nature of a monarch? Who cares? Who fucking cares? That doesn't really seem like its theme, exactly. It's more... I don't know. 2 is more kind of just a meandering exploration of... Like, it's a sequel that was contracted to be made, and its theme feels like that, because it's kind of just all over the place. Because a lot of... Like, even what Scholar, The First Sin did, was trying to explain the minutiae and details of why the setting was the way that it was. But that's not a theme. So there wasn't really much of a point to it, exactly. And it was really going through the motions of, you know, Dark Souls, hollowing. You'll lose yourself over and over and over again, and so forth and so on. Oh, no, you don't, girl. Don't you go slapping. She a bitch. Better chaos, she a scary hoe. Scary hoe. Come on, scary hoe. Don't you... Oh, you scary hoe bitch. At least I died in the right spot this time, to where I don't have to make 2 trips to pick up my precious souls that I will need billions of to level up even half of one time. Alright. But yes, that is the gist of things. If you're gonna do a sequel to something, yeah, it should have a different theme, but it shouldn't be so radically... I take that back. Normally, it should not be incredibly radically different, Because as far as marketing goes, people want the thing that they just experienced. Like, people will walk into, like, a restaurant. They go to a restaurant one time, and they'll look at the menu and it has all sorts of, like, crazy things that they don't recognize. But then they just get chicken wings or something. Because, well, I know what those are, and I know that I will have a good experience if I eat those. It's not as though they're afraid of getting something else, but they know, well, this is... I may not even come back to this place. So, I'm hungry now, so I want to make sure that I have a good experience while I'm away from my home or whatever it is. And so they just get whatever they know is going to be reliable. And then that's it. And they go back to the restaurant later, and they'll just get the same thing again, because now they're just like, well, I knew I really liked that last time, so I'm going to have it again. People are creatures of habit in that way. That extends over the marketing, whenever you're doing, like, movies or whatever else. Is the reason why people keep going to see the same trash over and over again is because of that same problem. It's like, movies are the chicken fingers of the world. And they just want to make sure that they have a good time. Damn it. It's been a long time since I've had to roll through this shit. Oh, come on. I definitely rolled through that. I'm the master of Dark Souls. Don't tell me that I didn't roll through the fucking attack correctly. I did it. I did roll through the attack. I did. Come on. Are you... Come on, Freeland. Oh, sweetie. Oh, this is not going well for you. Come on. Oh, the roll did it. The roll is what did the damage. Of course. Have you noticed that the orb on one side controls the arm on the other? See, that noise. I swear that's from John Carpenter's The Thing. Which I should be doing a commentary track for pretty soon. That's my favorite movie, by the way. Which is super weird because... I'm not gonna get sidetracked with that. Anyways. But yes, theming. People want to... Are you fucking serious? You did that while you're in the middle of a swing animation? That, madam, is unfair. Look at that peculiar... I love that peculiar doll. Little sprite. I did that joke last time, though. Chicken in all the... That's what it was, yeah. Chicken in all the West Coast. Chicken in the dirty South. Let's see. I have more questions, but I was trying to think if I had actually explored that as much as I wanted to. Oh, yeah, sorry. But people go to see the same movies that they've already basically seen because they want to make sure that they have an experience that they remember having a fond experience with. Like, if it's a shitty movie and they see a sequel to the shitty movie, they're probably not going to go see it. They might, but probably not. If it's something that they had, like, an okay experience with, and they see another movie playing that's something completely radically different that they don't recognize at all, they're probably going to take a safe bet and just go see Transformers 6 or whatever the hell it is. I don't even know how many of those goddamn things they've made. So that kind of extends to, like, sequels and things like that as well. Is if you're going to be making a sequel to Dark Souls or whatever, then its core functions, its theme and everything probably should be more or less very similar to the original. Like, you wouldn't expect to see Dark Souls 1, and it's this, and then Dark Souls 2, it's a first-person shooter. Or it's a tabletop board game. Probably not that, because that's not going to translate well as far as marketing goes. So whenever you're doing your theming, then generally whenever you make a sequel, you want to explore something that is the same theme. One time, I tell this every time, but I did get hit by those one time and get sent into a T-pose. There it is. Okay, I was waiting for that to open up, and it just never did. It took me dying. Such a good... Really, it feels almost exactly the same, though, without the mods. It really does. So I think Dark Souls 2 sort of got that right. There's a lot of circumstances surrounding 2 that made it be considered to be not so great. I think I would actually probably enjoy playing 2 again more than I would enjoy playing 3. I don't want to play either, though. Like, I would probably enjoy playing the beginning of 2 more than I would probably enjoy playing 3. But the idea of playing either one of those kind of makes me feel bad. Because whenever I think of playing 2, I think about... To get off the subject of theme... Really? Body block? But whenever I think about 2, what I don't really like is just how long it is, combined with... I don't know, just the general movement, the way things feel, and the way things look, and the general tone of the game. And it's nothing wrong with it necessarily, and I can definitely understand why some people prefer to. It's a good enough game, especially after Solaire. Solaire really uplifted it and made it a much better game, to be honest. I really don't want to play 2 for that reason, because it's kind of just, it's kind of this weird place tonally that I don't really like. And as far as like the little minutia of controls and whatnot. Too many weapons, too many upgrade paths, blah blah blah. 3, I don't like because it's just Bloodborne trying to be Dark Souls. And I just don't like it. Yeah. Really? Wow. I'm glad I got to see it. I'm gonna check my health to see how much health I actually have. Because that's gotta be over 3,000 damage. Oh, I only have 16. Huh. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Sif. That's what I was thinking of. Because last time, Sif was taking enormous amounts of damage. Wow. Sif was taking... Sif was taking more than double Freeland's total health from basic attacks during that Manus fight, wasn't she? Poor puppers. Alright, but you get the idea. As far as theming goes, yeah... You should probably try to explore something. Although that's just a general rule of following the trends of whatever the original was. You don't have to do that. There are many cases of something being incredibly, radically different from the first iteration. And sometimes it even being way more successful than the original was. Although not too many. It can be done, though. But again, that's more of a marketing thing. Plus, from a narrative point of view, can you really fully explore an idea in one try? Surely ideas are... Oops, accidentally did that. Surely ideas are more elaborate and worthy of exploration more than that, where, you know, you're just stuck on that one thing forever. Plus, Plus, in addition to, like, it's actually up here because it was so bad. Plus, in addition to the fact that every idea is worthy of exploration, usually ideas just translate into more ideas. Because even if you really reach a conclusion as far as a thought goes, like, I don't know, like, the American dream is a fallacy. You know, it's fallacious in its very nature because of the following reasons, and your entire story is about that. Your follow-up idea might be, okay, if that's the case, then what do we actually do? Or what is the actual solution to it? Or it could be a counterpoint of, no, it actually is good, and here's the other reason why, which could set up a final trilogy of, okay, now let's look at both arguments together. It just depends on what you do with it. Really, the nature of theming and storytelling is a reflection of the writer and what the writer is thinking. So if the theme is not really coming together, that's probably because the writer is not really thinking about things in a way that he should be thinking. Come on, roll. God. Throw such a fucking tantrum, too. Like, it hits with that overhead claw, and then it swipes. And it does a double swipe. Like, really? Do you really need that much? Is it really that bad? Miss, Quayla, whatever the hell your name is supposed to be? No, don't. Oh, God. That's the one attack that can actually hit you in here. Fortunately, there's not much area to move around in. Okay. Come on. There we go. however much health it actually had, even with the mod. And that was actually a phantom. Kind of weird. Even with all that, you still die from 700 something damage. Alright. Wow! Freeland's happy. That's a happy Freeland. Praise the sun indeed. Alright. So, Centipede Demon down, Bed of Chaos down. Solaire is my other thing in my notes. Can I get to him easily? Maybe. I think I want to check. He's probably not going to be there, but I want to check the hallway. Connor Mick 100 says, Plague, you talked a bit about Guild Wars and how you liked it, and I was curious if you ever planned to do a video about Guild Wars, besides animated one, perhaps a lax playthrough of Nightfall. Ha! No. I will never be doing that. Probably for obvious reasons. Guild Wars doesn't have a very good story. I like Guild Wars. This is weird for me, but I actually like Guild Wars because of its PvP and its building system, which I obsess over to this day because of how amazing it was. Like, it really gave me a chance to be extremely creative. Really? Whatever. It gave me the ability to be extremely creative, and that's what I really liked about Guild Wars 1. But its actual story was, like, admittedly just a fucking mess. It was really generic, too. Just a lot of, this god has awakened, stop the god. Oh, you stopped him. Good job. And this is what it was. Like, there was not really that much to it. There's, like, some weird, like, subplot stuff about Brother Menlo and Sin, is that what her name was? Like, will they fuck? Oh, no, they won't. And there's, like, they tried a few times, like in Nightfall. Like with, Shiro, I believe his name was. Whoa, no, what are you doing? What you doing? But those were hilarious. If you guys can find it, do yourself a favor, have a good laugh. Because it was an MMO, basically. Like, it wasn't exactly an MMO. It was still... Oh, there he is. It was still peer-to-peer. Yeah, there he is. And then those already escaped. Okay, good. It was still an MMO. It was still peer-to-peer and everything. But it still had the same limitations that games made in that era did. Because the game started development in 2001. So you can tell how fucking old it was. But do yourself a favor and go try to look up cutscenes from, like, Nightfall. My favorite one is whenever... Like, the entire logic of the story of Nightfall was that Shiro... I think that's his... Shiru or Shiro, I can't remember. But he was basically, like, the right arm of the Emperor. And a fortune teller told him, you will assassinate the Emperor. And he's like, no, I won't. And he may even have killed her, I can't remember. But I think she was implied to be, like, some sort of... I think she was implied to be, like, a extension of Abaddon or something, I can't remember. But there's a scene, like, this is big conflict of, will I actually kill the Emperor? And that's what makes him kill the Emperor. It's really stupid. Like, the entire motivation is asinine. This idea of him being fated to do it. But my favorite thing that I still remember to this day is the way that they did the cutscenes was you had, like, player emotes where you, like, shake your hand in a very awkward MMO animation way from 2001. And there's one of, like, some sort of lamentation where you grab your head and, like, oh, you can't see me doing it, but... And in this cutscene where he's, like, finally, I need to kill the Emperor, it's me, I'm gonna do it! It shows him, like, going up some stairs, but he's still doing the emote for, like, oh. So he's like sliding up the stairs, and his legs and body aren't moving at all, other than him, like, raking his hands across his face. It's amazing. It is fucking amazing. But it's also garbage. But the storyline of Guild Wars is just a fucking mess. Like, Guild Wars 1 is just stupid. Guild Wars 2 is, like, ever since that new writer came aboard, like, everyone needs to be a lesbian. Let's focus on the stupid tree people for, like, 15 arcs in a row. the living story existed and now you can't do it anymore because it's gone, because that's a feature. Like, Guild Wars 2 is also a fucking mess for... Like, Guild Wars 1 tried, but it was cute because it failed. Guild Wars 2 is more just embarrassing and kind of, I don't know, gross in a way. Like, I really don't want anything to do with it. So, no videos about Guild Wars. Thank God for that.
Was it all a lie? Have I done this all for nothing? Oh, my dear son. What now? What should I do? My son. My dear, dear son.
Yep, never found his son. I've talked about him more than enough.
Have I done this all for nothing?
I still appreciate him, though.
Oh, my dear son. What now? What should I do? My son.
Your dear son.
My dear, dear son.
It still kind of perturbs me to this day that so many people don't really understand him as a character. Like, he's just, oh, Solaire, praise the sun, ho, and that's it. Like, there's so much more to who he is. And I've explored that more than enough, so I'm not going to go into it. That people just don't talk about, for whatever reason. And that's really sad. Okay. Now, what am I doing next? Solaire. Oh yeah, let's go down to, oh god. Let me think. You're gonna have to give me a second on this one. Did I ever actually sit at it? Maybe I didn't. But I wanted to go down to Ash Lake. And it has... I'm probably skipping over it without realizing it. But it has a weird-ass name. And it's just like Dragon something or something like that. I never go down there, so I never remember. Some depths. The Parish Tomb of the Giants, Duke's Archives, Crystal Caves. No, apparently I just never sat down on it. Alright. No, it's because I sat down there before... I think I even said this during the playthrough. I sat down there before I got the ability to warp, so it didn't count. That's one of the things I hope they fix in the remaster. Because that shit is annoying. Let's see. How the hell am I supposed to get down there, then? This... Depths? No, Depths is, yeah, it's that one. You know, fuck it, just go to the fucking Firelake Shrine. Let's just go down the hard way. I just want to see Sigmaier's ending one last time. But apparently, no, we're not allowed to do that. Alright, anyways. Claymore Houston says, hey Plague, do you think stories should always be written with a theme in mind first, and then build things around it? Did I just answer this? And then build things around it? Or do you think it's fine to just write a story without a certain theme in mind from the beginning? Of course, most stories will develop a theme along the way, maybe even a different one from the thing the writer was thinking about in the beginning. This is a long-ass sentence. But do you think it's fine to start... I forgot. Really? Come on, sweetie. Amazing. But do you think it's fine to start writing a story without a theme in mind right away, instead starting with and building the story around a character or world? First...
Well, hello again. I have finally located my
deadbeat father.
All of your help was invaluable to us. Thank you so
Invaluable
much.
to
I
us.
was finally able to pass on my mother's
You know,
last words.
the fact that she says it's... I don't know. Invaluable to us. It may be different in Japanese, as far as how the subtitles go. But invaluable to us almost seems to imply that her mother is still alive. Although she could be talking about her and her father, since she's trying to find him. So, that's still open. It depends on how it's actually worded in Japanese. And I don't care. My days of looking up... God, I used to go to, like, the wiki for... I used to go to the Japanese wiki and hand translate everything. Just to figure things out. Boy, am I glad I don't do playthroughs like that anymore.
My father, he went on his final adventure. Don't worry. That's just the way he is, undead or no. Sort of reassuring, really. He goes hollow. I'll just have to kill him again.
You know, some people actually think that because of that line, if he goes hollow, I'll just have to kill him again. That it makes it sound like she's the one that killed him, like his first death in real life. That's another, I think, another case of people being overly literal and just, oh, really? Whoa! Especially if it sounds like it's going to be something conspiratorial, or like something you'd see on a game theory YouTube video or something. And then people will immediately gravitate towards it. But to me, it's like, well, he's a hollow. He dies all the time. So her saying, well, I'll just kill him again. Then, to me, that's just, like, up front, just, well, he's undead. If he actually does go hollow, then I guess I'll just put him down. It won't permanently stop him, but, you know, I'll be able to defend myself. And that's all she's saying. To me, anyways, if you want a game theory version of that interpretation, go right ahead, I guess. Anyways, back to Claymore's question. Rest here just to be sure. Gotta get down to Blighttown. This is really out of the way. I'm accomplishing nothing. And I've got to... I hope that one bonfire that is down here in the very bottom in Blighttown isn't something that I just skipped over because I'm not used to reading the list. You know, plus, fuck that. Fuck it. Because I actually just enjoy walking through the world. It's something that I really miss in the games after this. Like, some of them do it better, some do it worse. Well, as far as, like, one another, anyways. But Dark Souls always had this component to it. It actually feels like an actual world that you're in. And the warping is kind of needed for a game like this, so I don't blame it too much. But I enjoy just walking. It doesn't bother me at all. Anyways, to answer your question, Houston? Claymore Houston? Yes. Excuse me. Starting a story without anything in mind sounds nightmarishly dangerous. Oh, yeah. This drop. This is going to be an interesting one, because this is where Beatrice's body shows up. So it generates this new drop. What's it going to be? Because we already found her stuff. The Eagle Shield. Thanks. Something about completely useless. Like, it's something mildly interesting, and it's kind of near where it should be anyways. It's normally in Blighttown down here. It's in the rafters, actually. I don't know, anyways. But starting a story without any theme at all in mind, or any details in mind, it sounds incredibly dangerous. I think I've said this multiple times in this playthrough. But come on, make noise. There we go. But if you don't want to draw, then don't draw. If you don't want to write, then don't write. Because as I said, lots of people will, you know, question, like, how do you find the motivation to draw? How do you find the motivation to write, or whatever? Like, what do I draw about? You know, what do I draw? And I think I even said this in the prior part. But I draw because I want to draw. Like, that's my motivation. I don't need to find something that I want to draw because I want to draw it in the first place. It's not something that you really should be worrying about in the first place. And the same goes for writing. Oh yeah, that sweet 28 damage. Thanks, Spikes. Thanks, shitty roll. Wonder if it... Yeah, it actually is. I was screwing off there. I was like, I wonder if I could get into hits. Because I was just feeling lazy. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll run past them next time. But, you know, if you're writing something and you don't have a reason for why you're writing in the first place, that should be a big warning sign. And I don't mean you should have a cohesive theme already. Well, this will obviously be the case. More so just... there should be a loose idea for why you want to write these characters. And a lot of it should... if your idea is, I'm going to write this thing because I've got a badass scene in my mind and I want to get it on paper because it's going to be badass. your story's probably going to suck ass. But if it's more just, I have this idea for a character and he's a lot like me, 'cause that's usually where it stems from. And you're just trying to explore that, that is a great place to start, because that's what most writing is. It's just the author trying to make sense of something and trying to learn something about an idea that they're exploring. So usually the process for writing is you have, like in my case, I was talking about how my idea was, you know, inequality between classes and the ability to rise above the station that you're born in, and the difficulty of living within isolation and so forth and so on. So I was writing characters that were about that, and all the characters had their own little take on that for that reason, because that's what I was thinking about at the time. But I wasn't thinking, this is my theme. I was just thinking, this is the thing that I want to write about, because this is the thing that I'm thinking about a whole lot right now. And that was the end of it. Like, that's just where I was going with it. But the more that I kept writing, the more that developed into what I perceived to be a cohesive thing, where I actually had a point. And that was because it was like writing... It's like writing a forum post or something. Where you might start out writing, and the more that you write and think about the thing that you're writing, the more you sort of flesh out the idea as you're doing the typing. Huh. What? Oh, that must be something that died down here. Yeah, okay. Kind of tempted to get it just because, but there's no way I can. Although I am tempted to make you guys angry by attempting it. Oh, really? But yeah, your theme should develop naturally out of whatever it is that you're doing. Where? Can't even see the ramps. Oh, there it is. That was weird. So you don't have to start with, this is my theme, this is my theme. But start with at least, these are my characters, this is why I'm writing them. This is the thing that I love to write about. Like, this is why I'm doing this. Really, you don't even need that exactly. You don't need to know why you're writing. You just need to have the impetus. You need to have just this need inside you to write in the first place. And will you stop? And as long as you have that, will you stop doing that? God, fucking targeting system. As long as you do have that, you should be fine. Okay, now what the fuck is this? It's not on here. It's probably not on here because I'm at here. I can't remember exactly how it works. I'll check it later. But as long as you have that, you should be fine. Move. Move, sweet thing. Oh, here she come. She thinks she hot, but she not. Bye, bitch. Alright. Oh, yeah. Phantoms. How could I forget? Oh, you sweet angels. You sweet roaring angels. Shut up. Right, let's just get the hell over here. Maybe I can even get out of here without being poisoned. To my amazement. Although getting down there is going to be the fun part. I am so glad I don't have to do this. Like, to collect all the stupid items down there. But yeah, that's pretty much the answer to that question. Just make sure that you're actually starting with a reason for why you're writing in the first place, and things should evolve naturally as you write. And you sort of answered your own question. Even though you may not start with a cohesive idea, one will sort of naturally over time develop. The worst is whenever you're actually writing, and you actually develop like 2 or 3, and they have nothing to do with each other. That's the worst. Whenever you're like, oh, this could be about the nature of family and what family actually is. Or it could be about the nature of having trust in yourself or whatever it is. And you're like, can I connect these two ideas? And if I can't really connect them, then which of these two do I choose? Because I like both of them. That's the worst, because there's not really an easy solution to that. I'm having to be sort of careful down here. Like, you have to make the call eventually, because you do have to shore up your writing so that... Oh, I really want to kill that thing. You do have to shore up your writing so that it all makes sense together. Ah, damn it. I even wanted to do a plunging attack, but for some reason I didn't make the roll. Maybe someone did mention that they thought that my controller's inputs sometimes weren't coming out, and I'm starting to suspect that's the case for some reason. This, it's an Xbox Elite controller, but apparently they're well known for showing up at the door like, wow, this is amazing, and then sort of falling apart over time. And mine definitely is doing that. Like the padding on the back, especially since I had to remove the casing to exchange out the RB button, I think it was. Especially since I had to do that. It's sort of been falling out and it won't stay in. Like, it really is just sort of falling apart in my hands. It still functions fine as far as I know. But yeah, could be better. Could be better. Probably wasn't worth the money. I do like the feel of it, though. But I can write mine off as a business expense. So, no hair off my balls. Here's the ill-fated part where I died. Okay. Damn it. That's what I would have done if I was cool, but I'm not. I'm not. Alright. I actually only have 4 questions today, and this is number 4. Let's slowly descend. Slowly descend. There we go. I'm so glad in Dark Souls 1 I don't have to worry about whether I remembered, do you mash the button? Do you hold it down, or you just tap it to be able to go down? Because that's something that happened a whole lot. Me dying from completely releasing a ladder. Happened more than I care to admit, I think. I'm trying to get past these guys before I look down at my notes. Alright. Deersicle? Good lord, that name. I applaud you, sir. I'll read Deersicle's thing here in a second. So as I'm not being pelted with hundreds of barfing lizards. As soon as I'm not being pelted with hundreds of barfing lizards. They're pretty annoying since they can leap. And in the process of leaping, they will often leap to their own death in places where you shouldn't be jumping, just because they're so, like, mindlessly video game enemy aggressive. They will kill themselves just to mildly inconvenience you, because they are assholes. Maybe if I was in their shoes, I might do the same. Really? Already? Really? Really? Oh, that felt good, though. Oh, come on. How hard is it to really smash a child in one hit? Now, granted, in real life, it'd probably take me a couple tries, but Frida's supposed to be mighty. Alright, anyways. Turn my camera so I can see the mushrooms coming. Hey, Plague, says Deersicle. Why, your advice to young men of the world... Oh, yeah, it's going to be one of these questions. Respond, getting used to rejection is not bad advice. Here he comes. Here comes our little adventurer now. Oh, he's trucking. He's trucking and trying hard. But he couldn't quite make it. It's amazing that he managed to detect me all the way down here and was... You can see the shadows of these miserable fucks. They're above me is what actually is going on. That's really weird. The lighting engine in this game is magnificent. I'll just let that creep over me. It's not bad advice. You're casting it in this sort of, this really weird way where... By the way, this is one of those things where I talk about, since I don't have anyone to bounce things off of whenever I'm actually doing these, sometimes people will respond this way of, you're totally wrong about this, or you're not exploring this entire element, and in this case, like, I'm going to be agreeing with this commenter. But it's just a case of, oh, well, no one mentioned this particular side of things, so I just never brought it up. And this is one of the reasons why I over-explain things and get really verbose. Because I'm too used to this problem, this exact issue. Oh, you sweet little angel. I'm gonna enjoy eating you and then forcefully ejecting you out of my butt. Because you're food. But yeah, it's gonna be one of these things. You're casting it this really weird way where women that... What? This is another case of... I'm gonna get on to you guys about your grammar. You're casting it this really weird way where women that young men of the world are interested in... Oh, okay. Are target practice. Hold on. I guess you could see it that way. Because I was talking about the fact that you should get used to being rejected. And that part of that is... Oh... And that part of that is not getting, like, overly attached to the woman. And basically saying, ah, this one and no one else, right? I think I can kill this one with this hit. Nope, I can't. Aha! Later, losers. I tricked you. You thought I was gonna play bad, but I played smart. And I'm gonna murder your children. Mmm, so delicious. The cries of their, like, nightmarish pain is such sweet music to my ears. Bye, losers, bye. Alright, bye. Okay. Sorry, I get so fucking weird sometimes. And fuck that noise, sir. This sort of thing actually reinforces women's insecurity. Imagine you're a young woman. Oh, well, I wouldn't want to make women feel insecure. Imagine you're a woman, or even a less young woman, a girl, and you're trying to build yourself, you as a person and human being, and doing your damnedest to have independent self-worth. This is like a woman issue that I'm... Oh, there they are. This is a woman issue I can't really empathize with too strongly. Not empathize in the sense of, well, I don't care, but empathize, like, I'm not a woman, so I can't, like, experience this the same way, obviously. And you're doing your damnedest to have independent self-worth. You're met with a barrage of dudes who are either aggressively or in a sweaty, stammering manner continually interrupting your attempts to grow... I'm trying to look up and down. To grow to say variations of you are attractive female. Yep. So, that whatever else you're trying to do, there is one thing that matters to men, and that's the thing you're good for in undermans women's development. Yes, that is true. I think this is kind of a case of seeing things from a male perspective versus a female perspective. And this will help everyone to understand both sides. Because I know a lot of men don't really think about it in terms of the woman. Because when it comes down to it, men and women really aren't that different in the first place. Like, we really try to talk about men are like this, women are like this. Let's have a sitcom about it. But really, like, especially whenever you take all the makeup off and put everyone in the same, like, baggy clothing or whatever, like, even in many cases you can't even tell, like, a woman and a man apart physically. And especially in terms of behavior, if we all dropped, like, the weird gender normative stuff, then in many cases you can't tell people apart that way either. And as far as the way that we think, there really isn't much difference. Like, especially if you get into a serious relationship with someone. See, he's dead. I'll just kill him again. If you get into a serious relationship with someone, then if you're like very young and a guy, then you'll quickly learn, oh, girls aren't actually, I'm a girl. They're more just, yeah, I'm a girl. And then that's the end of it. There are some differences and whatnot, but, you know, this pedestal that we put each other on is kind of ridiculous. But that's also sort of part of the attraction sometimes, because I've noticed a lot of women are that way. They need to have this illusion that the man isn't, you know, someone like them. They need to have this idea that the man is a man, and he's like he just has all these male qualities that just make him so attractive. Like, he's forceful, but only at the right times. And, you know, I'm not going to go through a whole list of all of this. But basically, that's just part of the human experience as well. So this problem of... Like, the male problem is trying to decide, do I invest all my energy into being interested in this one girl that will not give me the time of day because lots of men are doing the same thing at the same time and I'm not aware of it? So she's just going to ignore me, and all the emotion and work that I'm putting into trying to develop a relationship, it's not going to go anywhere. Do I keep doing that, or do I like take the other extreme and say, well, all women are just whatever, who cares? And women get frustrated with that for that reason of they're getting hit by these barrage of guys that obviously don't care about them. They're just sort of testing the waters over and over and over again. So that, does undermine their confidence, like Dear Sickle says. Love that name. That does undermine their confidence in the process of doing that in a way that men can't really understand because we don't have that problem. Because our problem is one of isolation, of no one ever talks to us or ever shows any interest in us. That's our job. And it's our job to develop confidence in ourselves despite the fact that no one ever reinforces that. The only reinforcement we ever get is whenever there is, like, reciprocation on the part of a woman, whenever we're very young. Like, once you get at my age, you kind of move past all that nonsense. So as far as, like, men-women relationships go, which leads to things just like this. As far as those sort of relationships go, yeah, you really run into that problem a lot. And the thing is, like, dickbags take that further extreme of, like, they get so used to not caring about women that they end up becoming womanizers in that respect. Like, I can't really think like a womanizer does. I can sort of understand it because we all sort of start at level 0, so to speak. But I don't know, I guess it's just that they're insecure about themselves, so they feel the need to just go from woman to woman because they never really develop a real lasting rapport with anyone. Because it's like they develop the ability to be successful, like seducing or talking to a very particular kind of woman well before they actually have a real relationship. So they sort of falsely equate the success of, well, I'm good at talking to women, with the success of having relationships or something. So the value of actually finding someone that you actually need to be with, like you meet the right person, and they, as well as to you, like they reciprocate. They're like, oh, this is the right person for me. And it may not work out, mind you, but you're still the right people that should be together to explore one another and be able to grow as people in that process, right? They never get to that point. They never realize, oh, I need to be more particular about the kind of person that I'm looking for. And, like, the struggle for women is much different than the struggle for men. The struggle for men is just the matter of, you can be particular and know exactly the kind of woman that you're after, but if you get too narrow, then men don't get in as many relationships typically as women do in the first place, because they don't have as many opportunities, because women don't walk up and ask us for anything. Like, again, we're just isolated. And, so our opportunities for knowing what it is that we need to have in our lives are not as numerous in that respect. We don't get to go through the wheat chaff phase of throwing things in the wind and seeing what falls. So these womanizers are, like, everything to them, I guess, is like chaff, where they're just throwing everything to the wind, and they don't know what it is that they're even looking for. But for most men, they sort of know, but if they get too reductionist about, this is the sort of thing that I want, if they start doing that, you also run into the same problem of, maybe if I had a much wider net that I'm casting, if that were the case, then maybe I would find something that I actually did need that I didn't know that I needed. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a very difficult thing. That's just part of dating. So, whenever you're a guy, yeah, don't just plow through hundreds of women of, like, oh, are you interested? Oh, whatever, fuck you. Like, don't do that. Like, that also hurts women in the process as well. That certainly strips away their confidence. That's not a good thing to do either. So, Dear Sickle's right in this respect. I didn't go over that because it turns into this where I'm just rambling. That's why I don't do that. It just creates problems in the process. Because I feel like, well, I better go over every single... That's the reason why I wanted to be a writer. Because I think like this. I take one idea, then I extrapolate on it, then I think, well, here are the things that people would argue against it. And then I have to go over those as well. Then I think, well, then they will get into the minutia of, well, this thing. And so I feel like, well, I've got to argue against that now, so I'll make another scene for that. Like, that's how writing works. That's how my brain works. And that's the reason why I'm able to ramble like this in a solo Let's Play. Anyway, sorry.
My father.
Yeah, what about your dead, stupid father? Really? He's a hollow. He'll revive.
Finally over.
No, it's not.
I will return to Katerina. You assisted us so greatly. I can hardly return the favor, but please accept this. It's of no use to me now.
The way he's laid out is kind of funny. Oh, it is just straight up just a slab, and that's it. Interesting. One thing that always bothered me about Dark Souls, the way that they treat these things, is they'll have like these scenes where, oh, he's dead, or she finally died, and that was it. No, you're undead. You keep going forever. Like, even if you, like, what's a good example? Let's say you come across, excuse me. Wow, what's his name? I can't remember his name. The pyromancer from this game. For some reason it escapes me. For some reason I keep wanting to say Laurentis. That's not it at all. Anyways, but the pyromancer from this game. You go down to Blighttown and you see him and he's hollow. You kill him. And it's like, ah, that's the end of it. That's the end of his plotline. I'm doing it like a hands on my hip thing. But it's not. Like, he's hollow. He's undead. What would actually happen is he's just there forever. Like, he'll just revive at a bonfire, wander off, and then you'll find him again. And he'll just never go away until he is so completely drained that he's just one of these hollows that is just like the ones that you see in New Londo, where they're just standing next to a wall, banging their head against the wall forever. And that's all they ever do. That's what actually happens. So him laid out, it's finally over, I can go home. No, it's not. He's just gonna get right back up right there, unless that's what she's doing. Like, what if she, this entire time, has just been killing your father over and over and over again? Like, constantly killing him over and over and over again, to basically reduce him down to a husk so that she feels like, oh, now he's not a threat. But can that really be the case whenever he's still in his armor and still using a shield and still has his hands on his Zweihander? Excuse me, his Zweihander. Can that really be the case? Probably not. I think not. I say conspiracy.
Dear Father.
It's good of them to subtitle crying. I really appreciate that. Your sadness amuses me. It is interesting that she... What the fuck? Is that the scabbard for her weapon clipping through her entire body, but then vanishing? What is that? What in the world? I was about to say, it's interesting that she isn't holding a weapon. But he wouldn't have the scabbard. That must just be something unique to the model. I wonder, do I have his shit just lying around? Due to random... Yeah, I do. No, it's different. That is like a scabbard or something. What the fuck is that? That's so weird. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I know what some of you are sitting there thinking. I'm not gonna do a bit where I put on the armor like, oh, it's me. I'm your father. I came back from the dead. Oh, everything was a-okay. That was an imposter. Oh, Daddy, I'm so glad that... Oh, just kidding. Haha, it's just me as Freeland. Oh, you silly girl, you. I'm going to put a bullet in my head. No, what the fuck is that? I'm going kind of crazy. Okay, there's two final things that I need to do. One is I need to go do the Kalameet encounter, and the other is Gwen. And it's pretty much it. But I don't think I'm going to... I don't think that I'm going to... I'm not gonna do that this episode. I will save one final episode. I'll do that. You know what I never did? I never brought in guests. That's one thing I completely forgot to do. Maybe I should just have a guest episode where we just wander around. Maybe I'll do something where I will like bring in someone to my world, but it's modded, so it'll just fuck everything up and cause my game to crash. That'll be a great... Maybe I shouldn't do that. Alright, let's go to... I can't... I really wish these... I think it's Township, one that I want. Because that's where I'm going... No... Shit. What is the shortest path to Kalameet? I can't fucking remember. But yeah, yep. That's it for my questions. And I hope that I answered that last one correctly. I don't know how to... But I hope I answered it to some degree of satisfaction. Okay, yeah, this is the right one. And I completely forgot about you, sweet thing.
You? Is that not the soul of the man who fell on
Yeah,
the
he
spot?
fell. I found him.
He was a dear friend. I wish to pay proper respect with that soul. Would you be willing to part with
How would
it?
she pay proper respect with the soul? Like, it's a tangible thing in this universe. Do you pick it up and you, like, pet it? Like, you're a good soul. You did such a good soul. You're a good one. And then you, like, shove it in your cooter and, like, one last time, Artorias. Oh, you... Well, maybe not the last part. Sure, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. You
I'm
are
just gonna
very
go hide in that
kind.
corner and watch what you
Please
do.
take this. I no longer need it.
Thanks for the garbage.
May the Lord guide thee.
It is kind of funny that there's still adherents. Really, she's still in on the lie, isn't she? May the Lord guide thee. She knows what happened to Gwen. She knows that he's not here anymore. As far as they're concerned, he's basically dead. So that is just straight up just her lying.
May the Lord guide thee.
Liar! Let's be all. But yeah, I hope I've answered that last question to some degree of satisfaction. Because that is a complicated subject, especially for my audience, who a lot of you guys are young people. And I don't have a tremendous amount of experience in relationships, because my experience with them has been very shitty. Not really my fault, I guess. Like, that's easy to... Christ! Not really my fault in my particular case. Like, one of my experiences was, like, sort of... Like, I've been in a lot of situations where I sort of dated someone, but not really, because they never really wanted to commit, because I'm going through a lot of stuff right now. Like, that happened a lot. Speaking of lower confidence in women. But there was one where, like, she went to, like, Oregon to have, to have demons cast out of her or something. Like, I'm not kidding. This actually happened. It's fucking weird. Like, she was a weird kid. But my dating experiences have been a lot like that. There's been a lot of, like, crazy shit. And, first I was like, am I attracting this? Like, is this my fault that this is happening? And the more that I talk to other people, they're like, no, you've had really terrible luck. Oh, don't you fucking... Yeah, I'm sure you're really worn out there, dickwad. After a well-deserved rest of a... Sorry, I'm paying attention to his little backpack there. He's got like a little crooked shovel, and it's really cute. But then there's also like a stick and then two smaller sticks. What? What's the function of that? Oh, who fucking cares? I gotta get through this garbage. Alright. Let's go down here and let's try to fight Kalameet, I guess. And I'll die, and then that'll be that. I hope. Haha, I tricked you. Oh, god damn it. Didn't even take much damage. I thought that would take out all three of them, but guess not. Don't much care for dogs in these games. I don't think anyone does. It's one of those things. You would think after all this time... You think that they're actually proud of the dogs? Because I'm sure they get lots of feedback of, I fucking hate the dogs in your game. They are so annoying. Not even really difficult, just annoying. You think they're proud of it? Really? Like that. Like I backstep away, haha, you missed. And he just does it anyways. Just bites me anyways. Fuck those dogs. Really, how do you make a dog enemy in the first place? 'Cause they can't really fight like a person. Like, even that, them dodging, that's ridiculous. It's a fucking dog. It's not gonna do that. Should this be a fog wall? Wait. Did I ever talk to him to unlock this? I'm not gonna warp back, it'll respawn all these stupid enemies. I'm gonna go talk to him, just in case. Like, you have to understand from my perspective, one, I've done 2 playthroughs of this now. Another, I've played this game a lot. And whenever I conceivably could have talked to him was now months ago for me. So I honestly cannot remember. And the fact that there's no fog wall makes me think that I remember going to Kalameet and trying to show off, well, if you wanted to try the killing before doing that, then you could do it this way. And I chose not to do it. She just fucking vanished. But I don't remember coming back and talking to him and getting the cutscene and everything. So let's do that, actually. That'll kill some time. That'll kill some time. But yep, my relationships have been kind of weird. And none of them have been healthy. I can't say that I've ever had a quote-unquote real relationship. So, me trying to give relationship advice, like straight-up advice, not great. Like, me trying to give parenting advice, also not great. I can only give you sort of general advice about just the human experience and whatnot. Yeah, I never actually opened that, apparently. And he looks amazing. He looks amazeballs.
A visitor, have thou must be the one who freed our toys.
Yes, I freed him.
That old friend he was.
Pushed him down the stairs, I did.
He left this world with honor intact. And here I am, retired and blind. Of little help to thee, I'm afraid.
I always liked his armor set. It is silly that he can give you, like, his armor, and he can give you his bow. Here, I won't be needing these. And it's like the size of a house. But whatever.
Dragons shall never be forgotten. We knights fought valiantly, but for every one of them, we lost 80 of our own.
It's not bad, really.
Exhilaration, pride, hatred, rage.
Teasing.
The dragons teased out our dearest emotions.
Like, 60 silver knights for one dragon? That's not a bad trade.
Twilight, old thoughts return, in great waves of nostalgia.
You know, I'm really interested now. Like, if you could actually... You can't do this, but... What if you spawned in 60 silver knights and made them go fight Kalameet? Do you think they would actually be able to win? Probably not, because of all the AoE. It would probably be too easy for Kalameet to just start farting around. Buh, buh, buh. You know, being a typical Dark Souls enemy. Well... I shouldn't be bitching about the other games. I had this moment of like, I'm gonna fucking start a shitstorm again. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. But if you spawn in 60 of them, they would probably all die too quickly, just because of all the AoE. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm not gonna start a shitstorm, even though I want to.
What good is a dog with no hairs to hunt? But I'm lucky to be alive, I suppose.
Imagine how small a dog is to him. Like, it would be the size of his like, almost the size of one of his, like, hands, I guess. Probably be as big as it could get. Like, he could pick it up and crush it. That's how big he is. He's largeman. Very largeman.
There's very little to be said. What good is a dog with no hairs to hunt? But I'm lucky to be alive, I suppose.
Aren't you supposed to help me out here, buddy? This is helping, but I could really use something else. May as well just go ahead and do this. I'm not going to be using these souls.
Farewell, human. Lead thy life as thou seest fit.
Or don't. Okay. Please do your cutscene. Yes, there we go.
Is the black dragon posing thee duress?
He's a big cunt. Could you shoot him down, despite being blind and firm, completely unaware of your surroundings, probably a little bit sort of not in great health because you've just been sitting down whittling for the past 1 billion years?
Yes, I thought as much.
Yeah, handle that for me, will you?
He's called Kalameet. Ferocious dragon indeed. Even mighty Anna dared not provoke his ire. I see little good coming from this, but thy intent is to persevere to the bitter end.
It kind of makes you wonder why Kalameet is up here. Because all the dragons that they fought were in Ash Lake, that area, right? And the sort of weird Midgar sort of world, Asgard or whatever, world that they live in, the gods live in, and humans live in, is way above that. So why is Kalameet up here in the first place? It is interesting, though. Like, it's one of those questions that will never, ever, ever have any answer even remotely, but just the idea of whenever they went to War of the Dragons, like, what? I've asked this many times before. Why did they go to the war with them? Whenever they were apparently just unthinking stone, like, just entities that just sort of existed? Maybe to fuel the war or whatever, like to motivate them. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But how many of them did they kill? And did they think that they killed all of them before they moved up even further? Did they build any cities below that point? How did Kalameet get up there? Did he escape much... Like, did he escape well ahead of that time? And if they were able to take out dragons of that caliber in the first place, why wouldn't they want to provoke the ire of Kalameet? If they had already won the war. And they could just easily, like, send this dude. Who apparently can just one-shot them without even really trying. Eh, whatever. Lore is bullshit.
Good. What is bravery without a dash of recklessness? I've taken a liking to
Oh,
thee.
really?
And I owe thee much for thy
You think our
service,
size lines up?
Artorias. Now, watch and see how Goth hunts dragons.
Yay, cutscene. Best cutscene of the game. What I find super interesting is that the model of the wood carving he was working on is also still a Black Phantom. I love the way that the dust comes off of him here. Because he hasn't moved in forever. He cuts back and he's already sitting down whittling
Shot
again.
was never loosed. That
He's gotta get to
back will
work.
be grounded for a good spell. The rest is in thine hands. I await good tidings. Ah, dragon slaying. Knighthood's highest calling.
You can say what you will about the, boss fights or whatever in the DLC. Go really, really makes it all worth it. Like, he's certainly my favorite character that gives out, like, lore information. Like, in 2 it gets bad because they kind of just tell you everything. Because there's the king, and then there's, the bullshit guy that says that Gwen did the first sin, even though that doesn't make any sense. Whatever the fuck his name is, that I really don't care. But they kind of just barf out information like, here's what happened, here are the events. Whereas, go here, he just is just like, nah, it's cool being a knight. I love shooting down dragons. If you get my shit, then you might be able to find some description stuff, but that's it. And he gives you just enough. Because the point is not really the detail so much as it is the theme. So, super cool dude. As far as the NPCs that sort of dole out the final bit of world building, which I guess is sort of what purpose he serves, he is by far the coolest. You can keep the Dark Souls 2 king, whatever the fuck his name was. Voldemort. Yeah, that's what his name was, Voldemort. Alright, let's go get our asses kicked by Kalameet one time, and then we'll call it a day. Or, if I go down and one-shot him, maybe I'll just go to Gwen right now. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know either. Like, I'm actually debating it right now. Because I really want this playthrough to be over. I really do. Because I have too many other things and I need to get done. And I'm tired of thinking about it. I'm glad I didn't respawn those dogs. Guess fuck those things. Now, since I didn't sit down and I've already been down here, is the fog wall actually going to show up? Yes, it will. Okay. So I was right. I'm sure some people... There's probably like one or two guys... I'm sure a lot of you remember that I didn't do that. I'm sure there's some people, though, that were like yelling at me to keep going. You're already there! It's probably nothing! It was something. And I was right. All those other times that I was wrong, I don't remember those. Those never happened. But I remember being right. Whoop! Well, that worked out great. I was going to be a badass and jump down to do a plunging attack on that crystal lizard. But instead, the geometry kind of weirded out Freeland's poor little dainty feet. On the plus side, it did give me 20 essence plus charges. On the downside, I'm probably going to lose most of those from all the dog bites that I'm going to sustain just trying to get to that fog wall again. And of course, don't forget our friends, the scissormen over here, who will probably dart out of the woodworks to shove those deep in Freeland's mighty meat sacks. Meat sacks? That sounds nasty. I don't even know what part of her body would actually be the sack. Yeah, fuck off. Fuck off. They're so fucking annoying. They don't even have to really... They don't even have like an attack animation associated with that. They just run up to you and you just take damage. Like, there technically is one, but the fact that they don't have any, like... There's no downtime or anything. They just appear next to you. And you just take damage that way. Aha. What? Oh, I was about to get really angry if that prompt hadn't showed up. They are still at it, too. Look at their cute little faces. So adorable. Still angry. Look how fucking angry he is. This little head poking through the fog. Look how fucking angry he is. Angry about nothing. Look, oh, come on. Oh no, the dog found a pitchfork. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna actually try to kill that crystal lizard again to waste time and to make you angry. It's not worth it. It's totally worth it. See, it was totally worth it. Man, I'm gonna put those, whatever that was, to good use that I didn't notice. No cat ring in this game. No, sir. Alright, here we go. This boss fight, it seems like last time in the last playthrough, this boss fight wasn't too bad. These actually be different. I think these are the same. No, they're different. Okay. 9 damage. Jeez. Okay. Well, gonna be a lot of Bloodborne style healing, where you take a hit and then heal like 1,000,000 times in a row. Yeah. This mainly the problem with Kalameet right there. Just the range of his breathing. Yeah, fuck you too, buddy. Okay, so this could be it. Okay. Because if the attacks are doing that much damage, it's gonna be a problem. Because it means that... Jeez! Even the... Good lord. Even the slightest touch from his model. Because that's another thing. Sometimes he'll damage you even with basic movement rather than actually attacking you. So, know what I'm going to be doing next time. So, I guess that's it for this particular episode. Because I'm going to need time to do something else. And I don't know what that is yet. So, let's stop here. I was going to do a run back and just stop there for next time. But there's probably going to be a lot of angry gardeners and dogs magnetized to my flesh to worry about in the process. So we'll save that for next time, I guess. I'll probably try to crank the next one out ASAP, in the same way that I did this one, just to get this shit over with. But next on the docket, I guess, will be getting rid of Kalameet, and which actually shouldn't be too difficult. A lot of that is just the fact that I haven't fought him in probably over a year now. Yeah, I think the last time I fought him was the last playthrough. But anyways, that's probably what we're going to be doing. Let me know about what you think as far as maybe getting in like some guests in the final bit. Although I don't know. I don't know if there would be a point to it. I guess it just bring on Nick or someone, just shoot the shit for a while. But there's really nothing left to do one way or the other. But maybe we can come up with some sort of dumb thing to do in the process. Maybe I'll even do a Twitch stream. Who knows? Probably not too lazy for that. Got too many other things to do. Alright, but leave your comments about how angry you are about my treatment of women in the comments below. Leave your comments about how angry you are about my treatment of Guild Wars in the comments below. Far more important. And we'll leave it there. Alright, say goodbye to Freeland. So long. I was kind of actually helping like a gardener would rocket around the corner to like stab her in the face while she was doing that. But for next time.